live stream's gonna be like. So I'm gonna buy Metamoris.
Yeah, we're definitely not on because I'm looking at the YouTube page and there's nothing going on.
Okay, now we're on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Hour. My name is Stefanos Kokis. We are lagging very bad right now, so I'm going to disappear and try to fix this while Cody and Mike discuss Copa Podio and Metamoris and which one is better.
Talk about tonight. We got a bunch of upcoming events.
Yep.
Like Stefanos just said, this coming week is both Copa Podio and Metamoris. Mike, where are you at? What are your thoughts on Copa Podio versus Metamoris?
Well, you know which one I'm going to order?
I think that you're probably going to order Copa Podio.
Guess what? I'm going to order both because I am a jiu-jitsu freak. They're going to kill me because I'm going to be watching. I'm going to have one on the laptop and one on the TV. That's the plan.
Hey, it's your birthday. You should be allowed to spend it however you want it. And that sounds like a great way to go about doing it.
And no, that is a full jiu-jitsu day because we also have mission submission that morning. And then that night we have
That's right.
2 grappling events. So it's like I said, November 22nd is one of the big days on the calendar this year. There are all across the land. It's insane. But now I like Metamoris, like the quality of Copa Podio, their matches, because there's a couple submission only and there's a couple time limits. But the ones that are submission only are truly submission only because there's no time limit. And I believe that is the Leandro Lowe match and the Meow match. Am I correct?
Yeah, so you got Leandro Lowe and Gilbert Dorino Burns from Autos. Both of those guys are world champions. And Joe Meow and Gianni Grippi are going at it. Crazy. Like if you think about it, like the Meow brothers, those guys can roll forever, and Gianni is he's a beast too. I think that potentially he's going to be able to win a world title after the Mendez brothers are gone. Once they retire, I think he's got the potential to beat anybody in the world besides the Mendez brothers. He lost that match to Tanquinho a couple weeks ago, but I'm kind of interested to see just how long it's going to take one of those guys to give up. And I mean, it could be an hour. I wouldn't be surprised if it went to an hour.
That's a rematch for the New York Open, Meow and Grippi. They which Meow won. I think he won on advantage.
Yeah, it was a close match.
Yeah,
but he did squeak out the points victory. But
I hear some.
I'm actually going the opposite way. I'm just gonna order more. As the video stream has been questionable, kind of like our startup on tonight's show.
Yeah,
we had a little bit of trouble.
Except we're not charging anything for our stream. It's free.
But yeah, it's free. And the quality on the mission submission 4 is going to be better. Like it all. You can watch some free jiu-jitsu and local jiu-jitsu live on our YouTube channel, and then go pick Copa Podio and Metamoris. But I'm going to go with Metamoris just because it's a product. It has soccer Robin. I like what they're doing with this thing. I think that's cool. How in shape soccer Robin is. I doubt that he's way too worn out at this point to be just because his style is pretty. I'm interested in seeing it. But I think Copa Podio's got the better matchups, and I really like their Grand Prix format. So they've got more matches, and I think the quality of the lineup's better because you got Claudio Calzans, who's a beast at middleweight. Jonathan Satava, who's one of Marcelo Garcia's brown belts, part of that brown belt dream team that he's got. Gregor Gracie, Herbert Santos from Team Lloyd Irvin, brown belt worlds, and heavy this. So I mean, those dudes are all studs.
Definitely. Now on the Metamoris is jumping in. I mean, it's Yuri, which is that's a rematch from the was a pretty big.
A pretty decisive win.
Yeah.
You know, really, I was surprised about that. Watching that match, I got to watch that Hawaii on where he looked like Keenan, which is crazy because Keenan is so good.
Okay, now
really
yours is a lot bigger. Now here's the difference. Now this time it's in the gi though. So.
Right, that's the thing. Like I'm not as in the because I actually, you know, Keenan's back and kind of suplexed him a little bit. Faster pace match, so you know, I mean, I think the Yuri had a lot of trouble. If I had to pick a winner, it's definitely Keenan to win by submission. I don't think Yuri's going to be able to submit. I'd be surprised if it goes to a draw.
Yeah. Now Yuri said that he's looking forward for Keenan. He wrote this on his Facebook a couple days ago. He was looking forward to Keenan busting out the first feature. So
hopefully he's
to watch to go against. That's what I. If we're matches, I'd rather see Vinny go against Dean Lister. You know, something with he's just. I videos and stuff.
We both
rap videos.
Kevin Casey. I could do without him on Metamoris card.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got some connection with
Sorry, everybody. I'm working on it. The housemates decided right now is the time they want to use all of the internet bandwidth. So I'm working on it. I'll try to get them back. We're back. I might have resolved it. I had to restart everything. We had a drastic failure of internet providerness. Right here, local Verizon provider, and tell them they're a bunch of dickbags and they need to stop with this bullshit so we can do our show that everybody loves. That they're not going to love if they keep impeding us. Anyways.
So what was happening was after the show crashed, Mike and I ended up back on Skype with each other somehow, and we weren't aware that the show wasn't live and we weren't on the show. So we've spent the last like 8 minutes talking to each other like we were doing the show, only to find out that we were just talking to nobody.
I know.
Which was kind of funny now, but probably pretty stupid. But we started talking about how well first of all, Kevin Casey hacked the network, and that's why the show went down. We started talking shit on Kevin Casey, and our show crashed. So we won't do that again. We apologize to Kevin Casey and the Gracie brothers for questioning their matchmaking skills. You can put Kevin Casey on Metamoris as much as you want, as long as we can keep doing our podcast without the internet crashing. And then we started talking about the Masters and Seniors World Championships and how BJ Nelson won double gold at the Masters and Seniors in the brown belt medium heavy Masters 1 and the Absolute. So that kind of suggests that he is going to make our pick correct this coming weekend, since we picked him to win Dustin's AGC brown belt tournament. And I think that's where we left off.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah. I'm just sitting here listening. Okay. Mine's off. So we may not want to publish this.
Yeah.
This one might
Can you
just
guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Because I don't see any video of you guys now.
I turned mine off so it doesn't. All right, well let's end this disaster of a show on a strong note and talk about some very, very local shit that's happening. Our show's favorite guest, Dan Swift, has taken to Facebook, and if you haven't seen it, he's questioning Dom Mazzotta's legitimacy as a black belt, and somebody is trying to set up some sort of grudge match, call out type deal, where the two of them grapple, and it's pretty interesting. So what do you think, Mike? What's going on out there in the grudge match world of Facebook?
Well, from what I've read, it's I guess Dan called out Dom, saying that he was only training for 3 years and got his black belt, and then I guess it was checked again, and he's been training for 6 years and got his black belt. Now I know some people got their black belts in 4 years, so 6 years is not really that crazy of a thing. There's elite level athletes and stuff like that. Now I've trained with Dom, and he is extremely tough, and his jiu-jitsu is definitely legit. So I don't know if you're looking from the outside, you don't know, but if you trained with him, it's a different story. He's definitely legit. He's definitely top level. And now his coach, Eddie Vincent, his black belt is under Walter Bayless. And I know we posted, I think when we were tagged, and I don't know what, for some reason I got tagged into always get tagged when there's some drama.
Well, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Hour is the local Jiu-Jitsu authority, so that's no surprise.
Now Walter Bayless is legit. You can there's Gracies that will vouch for him. There's top level people that will vouch for him, and that's where Eddie got it. And I've trained with Eddie. I've even been in one of Eddie's gi classes, and his no gi are definitely legit. So that he's definitely legit. So if anybody, Eddie Vincent is definitely legit. So I've seen it live. I do see Dan Swift because he's like, okay, within 10, 12 years. Some people get their black belts within 15 years. So I also see Dan's point of view. Now, would I've taken to the internet, but he is Dan Swift and that's what he does. Yeah.
That's why
that's
we like.
why it turned into such a shitstorm.
Well,
but now
here's the thing that.
Yes, that's definitely why we like this.
That I think is important to mention.
Yeah.
And can you hear me? Okay.
I hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. So the thing that I think is important to mention, and the Stand Them Up article that got posted kind of messed this up, is that Walt Bayless, Eddie Vincent, never be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black. What this whole argument is based on the idea of a Brazilian black belt, and Walt Bayless never. What he called it combat Jiu-Jitsu. That is exactly
is that what it is?
It's not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So are going by a different standards. So if Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it takes 8 to 10, 12, however long it takes Jiu-Jitsu black belt, they're equally effective at grappling. So to compare one to the other in terms of time to get the black belt, I don't think it's really as important. But black belt, then that becomes kind of a big deal. But I don't think anyone ever say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. It's grappling. It's all the it's all just one way or another. It's all grappling. So their style, Walt Bayless, Eddie Vincent, combat Jiu-Jitsu, whatever it is, Dom's a black belt now. He's a good grappler. We all know that. So I just thought that was important to point out that some of the people that are reading this are thinking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, 6 years. Okay, well, we're not talking about a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt because Walt never claimed to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So it's basically irrelevant. If you're a good grappler, that's really all that matters. Now,
I also see Dan's point of view. That would be cool. Which honestly, I think that would be a great match. Those two would be yeah. I think they're very evenly matched. Dom and has the old school. It would be I would like young, it's all jiu-jitsu versus new jiu-jitsu. As a fan, I'd like to see it. Yeah. And it just might happen one day. Dom has he has a fight in December. I lost all. Yes. Happening anytime soon. Well, maybe before that, it might happen after that. But a bunch of schools have offered. A bunch of schools came out of the woodwork this grudge match. So. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Rob's okay with that. It'd be cool. It'd be close to us at least. It would definitely. But I know a bunch of other gyms have offered their services to this. I personally, as legit skill. It'd be good to see. It would be crafty veteran versus youth. And let's see what happens. It would definitely be exciting. I definitely like to be in submission only. It'd be cool to see it be in submission only. It would definitely be
that's the only way I would want it to go.
Yeah. And hopefully they end up friends afterwards. That would be cool too. Hopefully they end up friends afterwards because I'm a fan of both. And but if anyone is wondering on Eddie Vincent's legitimacy, go roll with Eddie. He is a beast. He is he's a machine. I've rolled with him a couple times and he has abused the shit out of me. So he's pretty tough.
Yeah, regardless of what style or lineage of jiu-jitsu that you're practicing, good grapplers are good grapplers at the end of the day. And Dom's a good grappler, Dan's a good grappler. I think that if they were to compete against each other, all their differences would be resolved. At the end of the day, whoever won would, they'd both find out that they're both good grapplers, and I think that all their differences would be resolved, which would
Yeah.
be which is the cool thing about the sport.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I do see Dan's point being the jiu-jitsu police that he is, and which is good. You need people like Dan
It's
to make sure
important.
that people in jiu-jitsu are in line and they're not lying about their belt. So I actually applaud Dan for for checking. Now he took a little far with the memes and stuff like that, but that's Dan. That's what Dan does. And now Dom has taken almost the
memes are
high
your
road, and
thing.
he's not even responding to that stuff. So they both have their own little game they're playing, which is cool. Which I'm enjoying, both sides. And the fans for both sides have come out pretty hard. There is everybody wants to fight Dan Swift as usual. Wants to fight Dan, and Dan relishes that, being the bad boy of jiu-jitsu. He relishes that, and he just, I mean, anything and I see that people fight with him, and I know Dan is sitting there with a big smile on his face, and he's loving every minute of it, and so yeah.
I saw some guy in a strip club arguing with Dan via Facebook.
I saw that, and they were posting pictures of a strip club, and it was and then Dan's girl got into it, and they were fighting, and it was
Dan was
it was
ruining
awesome. It was pretty awesome.
Dan was ruining that guy's night because he was at a strip club spending his time arguing with Dan over the internet. Dan definitely counts that as a win.
Yeah, that's definitely a win for Dan. That's definitely a win. But they both have fans from both sides, and they're both very excited. Now Dan, the other coach from Matt Factor is Isaac Greeley, a good friend of ours who's been on the podcast. I've trained with him many times. They competed against each other at the
Pittsburgh AGC.
At the Pittsburgh AGC. So that's also been brought to play. And I think Dan lost on points, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Dan lost on points. And I know that has been called, and they're talking about that too. And who knows? Maybe that might, if Dom doesn't do the super fight, maybe Isaac is gonna step in and do it. Who knows? So
yeah,
that would be cool to see too. That would be cool to see Isaac and Dan go at it too. That would be definitely. So, but like I said, I've trained with both guys. They're both extremely tough. I see Dan's point of view, but I also see it's Walter Bayless Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I guess, are two different things.
Yeah.
From what I'm understanding, they're two different things. Yeah, they're very similar. It's almost.
They're both effective. They're both effective. They're not. It's not like Taekwondo or something stupid like that. It's an effective grappling system.
It's Jiu-Jitsu. It's Jiu-Jitsu. Just one's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, one would be Walter Bayless Jiu-Jitsu, and they're both. Actually, like I said, I've been in Eddie's classes, and I've been in his gi classes, and I remember I did one gi class at Eddie's, and he showed me a little movement on my De La Riva guard, which helped a lot, and it still helps me to this day. So his jiu-jitsu is definitely legit, and I've trained all over, and I pretty much know if your jiu-jitsu is bullshit or not. So I give myself that. I'm pretty experienced, where I know if your jiu-jitsu is bullshit or not. So definitely not. So like I said, we're fans of it. And I hope it does go down one day, and I hope we can podcast it, bring it live for everybody to hear it. But is it really going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. So, but until then, we're going to enjoy all the people punking each other on Facebook and talking shit and challenging Dan to fight, and it's awesome. It's I love Facebook, man. I just love how people get riled up on Facebook. I really can't get enough of it. So. Anyway,
everyone loves a good jiu-jitsu rant on Facebook every now and then.
Yeah, and we're not taking any calls in on this. I got a couple messages on my phone. A couple people want to call in, and no, this is just we're keeping it strictly us talking on this subject, because we are friends with the Matt Factor. I'm friends with Isaac. I'm friends with Eddie. I'm friends with Dom, and I'm friends with Dan. So
we're staying in the middle. We're staying in the middle.
We're staying in the middle. We're reporting just on the facts in jiu-jitsu, and that's it. So I love both guys, and
right.
So that's us right there. So if it does go down, we want to podcast the guys. So just don't make it too far. So.
Yeah. So.
But anyways, next week we'll be doing the telecast from Edinboro, and Dan will be there. So if anybody wants to compete against Dan, he will be at Edinboro with a big target on his back. So
if anyone has been pissed off enough, you can sign up to fight Dan. I think it's only $40 to compete in Edinburgh,
Yeah,
and you can
it's
grapple Dan
$40.
Swift.
$40 is your ticket to get your hands on Dan Swift. You go get your hands on Dan Swift and go get you some anger out of your system.
And if you talk to Corey Kilburn beforehand, you could probably request to have your first round with Dan. It's submission only, so you can make it as long as you want. You can grapple Dan as long as you'd like, or until he beats you.
Yeah, there you go. As long as it's submission only, so someone has to win. It will be either you or Dan. So whoever doesn't like Dan, go there, beat him. If not, he will beat you. Those are your options, one or the other. So
I like that twist that we just put on the Edinburgh tournament. Sign up to fight Dan Swift.
It should be the Dan Swift tournament. We'll just make a tournament where everyone that hates Dan Swift on Facebook, and it's a lot of people, believe it or not, especially these last couple of days.
Oh, he's good at it. He's definitely.
Oh, he's good. He's good at. He's definitely a master of his craft. He is the Chael Sonnen of local jiu-jitsu, and it's awesome. You need people like that. It keeps it exciting. And you know what? This is kind of exciting for local jiu-jitsu. If Dom does do this, they are both going to do something for local jiu-jitsu that hasn't been done before. So it's usually in MMA you get a lot of shit talking. You don't get that much in jiu-jitsu. I hope it goes down. I think it'll be cool. But if anybody wants Dan Swift next week, submission only, and you will be live on our YouTube channel. So we will be calling the match. So we're doing all the advanced matches. So it's going to be awesome. So anyways, that's what we have to say about that. And continue your Facebook fight, because I am enjoying every minute of it. I cannot get enough of it. So
All right.
Let's call it a wrap.
All right. Well, that's been a hectic hour of behind the scenes work over here.
That was crazy.
So
was any of did any of that get recorded?
Yeah, it's all there. We're live still. So
cool.
we got like the last probably 20-25 minutes and the first like maybe 10 or 15. So
that was the good stuff.
Yeah, so we got everything until you started talking about Kevin Casey, then everything went to shit.
I'm sorry, I just don't understand why Kevin Casey is part of Metamoris again. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Vinny Magalhaes I get, but why Kevin Casey? Why not Dean Lister? Why not Joao C? Some big name. Why? Why?
Those damn Gracie brothers love giving their friends matches.
They love giving the guys that get kicked out for steroids matches.
Yeah, that too.
All right. Well, it's bedtime for everybody because we're a bunch of old men. So
that is true.
Everybody have a good night. Have a good week.
Guys. Catch you later.
We'll see you on the Facebook page next week at Edinburgh. Later.
Yes. Keep fighting on Facebook, people. I'm enjoying it.